This one, I'm really not sure what to do with, so let's just jump in and see what I mean. So the name of this one is called the MARESCAS Pornocounter. I have absolutely no idea what to do with that. The only thing in there's no image, there's no description, is the creator said 4231 possession counter press, try it with Chelsea. Well, we're not trying it with Chelsea, we're trying it with our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. So with really nothing else to look at and to kind of read and figure out, we're just going to jump into the Premier League and see how they did. Well, I can't say what it would do for Chelsea, but Liverpool in 5th place, 72 points, 80 goals. Aston Villa in 10th. Wow, 56 goals, 50 points. It didn't seem to work all that well here. However, Liverpool do go pretty far in both domestic cups, unfortunately losing out to West Ham in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, and then they get to the FA Cup final and lose to Manchester United 0-1. They do have to fight their way in extra time in the Europa League final. However, they do beat Atalanta 2-1. So overall, you've got a winner's medal in the Europa League, a runners-up in the FA Cup, semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, but 5th place in the Premier League is not great. Squad-wise, yeah, not a lot of green there, interestingly enough, but goals 26 for Nunez, 17 for Jota. So we're not talking about a high-scoring tally here. 14 assists for McAllister, 11 for Robertson, and average rating, well, Kelleher gets up there, but Gakpo with his 7.22. But he only had 6 starts. Salah, though, with a 7.19. That is really low. Unfortunately for Aston Villa, though, the domestic cups were not all that kind to them. Carabao Cup quarterfinals, at least they got there, but 0-2 to Arsenal. FA Cup third round, immediately 1-2 to West Ham. They do make it all the way to the semi-finals of the Europa Conference League, but lose out to SC Freiburg. So overall, definitely not a good season for Aston Villa. No question about it. Semi-finals of the Conference League, okay. Quarters of the Carabao Cup, but overall, 10th place in the Premier League? And squad-wise, yeah, I'm definitely not expecting a lot here. But goals, 15 for Diaby and Zaniolo, the only ones in double digits. Assists, 9 for Diaby is tops and Bailey. Wow. Average rating, though, Tyrone Mings gets in there with 1 off the bench. But Kamara gets a 7.02. Now, I say this didn't work for these two teams. This is one save. It could work 1,000 times if I tried 1,000 different saves. So just keep that in mind that every save is different from another. But in this save, it definitely did not work for these two. Liverpool's data hub, you can see clearly their attacking numbers, are not bad. They're well above Premier League average, but they're not where they should be. The goals should be through the roof. Defensively is not too bad on some pieces, but tackling percentage and things like that is kind of on the downside. Only 2.11 goals per game. 0.79 conceded is not bad. 0.95 XG against, a little higher, but not bad either. Yeah, Aston Villa's data hub looks severely lacking in a lot of numbers that they usually get. Defensively, again, same thing with Liverpool, some missing pieces, but overall, defensively is not bad for them at least. 1.47 goals per game. 1.24 conceded and 1.15 XG against. Well, we're back here. 5th place Liverpool with 1.89 points per game. Aston Villa in 10th with 1.32. And they do hit every category this time around. 3rd place Liverpool with 80 goals. 8th place Aston Villa with only 56. Fewest shots against, Liverpool in 2nd with 259. Aston Villa in 5th with 335. Most possession, 57% for Liverpool, 53 for Aston Villa. Most dribbles made, Aston Villa in 4th, 651. Liverpool in 8th with 603. Most tackles won, Aston Villa make the list with 875. Best pass completion, 89% for both. And most shots for Liverpool with only 562. Aston Villa with 493. But now, with our Premier League teams faltering quite a bit, how did Ipswich Town do? They get first place, well off. 11 points clear. 91 goals, though, is not tops. So that is very interesting. Actually, they've got a couple of players teams right in that area. But they still get the Premier League next season. They did it fairly well, I've got to say, by 11 points again. So overall, it seemed to work for them. But look at that end of season run. That is pretty nice. And as we look at the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, you can see Carabao Cup third round, 2-3 against Burton. They lose there. FA Cup fourth round against Stoke, 1-0. So yeah, domestic cups, they didn't do any better than they're expected. So no question, no worries there. But first place in the championship is pretty nice. Squad-wise, yeah, the Greens just aren't there as usual. But 21 goals for George Hurst, 17 for Chaplin. It's interesting. George Hurst is starting to really kick it up in a lot of these tactics that we've been covering lately. For a long time, he just was non-existent. 10 assists, though, for Connor Chaplin. Only 8 for Leif Davis. He was not played very much. Average rating, Connor Chaplin, though, with a 720. Championship stats, Ipswich with 2.3 points per game. Most goals in fourth with only 91. Wow. Fewest shots against, 338 with Ipswich. Most possession, 58%. Most dribbles made in third with 804. Best pass completion, they are there with 89%. And most shots for in third with 619. But now, taking a look at the tactic itself, we start out with a sweeper keeper in support, inverted wingback on the left in attack, an inverted fullback in defend on the right, ball-playing defender in defend next to a ball-playing defender in cover, Segundo Volante in support next to a DM in support, an inside forward in support on the left, an inverted winger on support on the right, a shadow striker in the middle in attack, and a complete forward in attack up front. Positive mentality, attacking width is fairly wide, underlap on the left but play out of defense, passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly higher, time wasting is in there, whip crosses, run at defense, be more disciplined. This time wasting to me seems like it's more for a lower league team or a lower team in the table, which is interesting that they want us to try it with Chelsea. Might try that later. But in transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the back line and take short kicks. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, and stop the crosses. So how did this tactic do overall? Well, I mean, clearly it did very well for Ipswich. First place, 106 points, 11 points clear of second place Leicester, so not a bad job whatsoever there. You do get, however, to Liverpool and Aston Villa, where it did do a bad job. Again, this is one save. I'm doing a holiday season. I'm not even here, so my coaches are doing everything. If you took control of this, you could definitely do a lot better job on this. But in this case, Liverpool is a through and through attacking, side, and this tactic is not heavy on shots. It's more defensive. You have a more short passing style, things like that. It just doesn't have what Liverpool usually plays with. Aston Villa either. They've got an okay attacking side. Defensively, they're not too bad, but 10th place is not great for them. They definitely deserve to be up in the 70s at least. So take control of this, see what it can do for you. I think we've seen 4-2-3-1s that have worked better, but again, that's one save versus another. If you need a more defensive tactic, this might be for you. But that's it for me, Sevian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.